people put them in a bowl by the door, along with their sunglasses and the clicker for the garage door opener. That's what I do, because I don't want to waste time looking for stuff when I'm ready to go out the door. So if you give everything a home, then when you're looking for it, you can go straight to your home, to the home. My scissors live in my top desk drawer, my top left desk drawer. My stapler lives in my top right desk drawer. I'm right-handed, so I'm grabbing the stapler more often than I'm grabbing the scissors. So certain things live in a certain place. I could go through my office in pitch black and be able to find anything I want. Can you? Don't look at me like that. Okay, when you're assigning a home, be sure to keep like things together. Keep all the receipts together. Keep all the supplies together. Keep all the client files together in one place. Then you're not going all over the office or all over the house or all over your car trying to find things. Some people have portable offices. The same rule applies there. Keep like things together so that you don't lose important documents and information. Clutter confuses our brain, but uniformity creates like a calming effect. So if your filing system looks and feels uniform, then your brain is not confused when you open the drawer. I categorize, for instance, client files typically get a blue strip label at the top of every client file. That way, when it's laying on my desk, I know this is a client file because it has a blue strip at the top. And when I'm finished with it, I know which drawer in the file cabinet it goes to, because all the blue files live in the same drawer. So they all live in the same house. They all live in the same neighborhood. I can find client files real quickly. I can find my paid bills files real quickly. I can find my income files real quickly, because sometimes I like to look at them too. Information overload is something that we're hearing people talk about all the time today. We were just talking about emails and text messages and memo pads and stationery and letterhead and client files. And internet, which was supposed to make life easy for us, has made it more complicated for us. And some of my clients tend to print out way too many web pages. So that even adds to the dilemma. So my business partner and I just recently wrote a booklet about how to manage information overload with really easy steps. And I call them the hot action files. And we apply this in managing our emails and in managing our paper information as well. So, and I use a system that's similar to this for paper documents, and things are labeled by the action that needs to be taken on it. And when I start teaching clients how to rename their paperwork by the action they need to take on it, like to call, to buy, to deliver. My to deliver comes out of the hanging file box and goes with me in the car when I go to do deliveries, because I want to make one trip. I don't want to waste gas and keep going back and forth and running around. So when I'm out, I do all my errands and I make all my deliveries and do all my things like that. To buy might be, the shopping list, or the office supplies list, or maybe I found something in a magazine that I tear out the article and it talks about a certain piece of technology. That goes in the to buy file. So when I feel like I want to buy it, I know where to find it. I also have a folder here in the front of the box called Waiting for Reply. Got a letter from the insurance agent. Don't understand what it means. called the insurance agent and left him a voice message, of course, because whoever only gets to talk on the phone anymore. And now, what do I do with that piece of paper until he calls me back? It's not allowed to just lay on my desk and get buried. I'll lose it. So it goes in the waiting for reply. When he calls me back, I can find it instantly. No wasting time digging through the piles. Okay, so there's a little saying at the top of the yellow sheet that says, Jim Ryan, how do you say his name? An American track athlete says, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Habit. A lot of times I find clients saying that the reason that they became disorganized is because they just failed to follow good habits. So what I teach is how to practice good habits, and one of them is information management, which is what we were just talking about. My favorite saying, which is now on my website, is organize, categorize, and systematize. And when you do that, then you really can set up systems to keep track of your paperwork and your other information. The first thing you want to do is sort everything into categories. And when you think about it, things do fall into categories, and sometimes I'm helping clients clearly think out loud and talk about what category this really is. The bottom line might be it's related to a client project, it's related to meetings that they attend, it's related to the kids' school. There's categories in all of our lives, but most people I have found never learned how to think in categories. So that's one thing that I help people learn how to do. Like I said, your information is your paperwork, your emails, all your to-dos, which we all have lots of to-dos, all those notes that you write to yourself here, there, and everywhere, documents, contracts, client information, that's information. We recommend that when you're trying to figure out the categories that you do a quick sort or a pre-sort when you're separating all the piles of paperwork on your desk. The first question you ask is, can it be tossed? Do I really need to keep this? Is it active? Am I still working on it? Does there still need to be actions taken? Or can I archive it? Maybe I need to keep it, but it doesn't need to be out here anymore because there's nothing else to do with it until maybe an issue comes up or somebody calls me back. So I could archive it, which the archive files are further away from the desk than in the desk or near the desk. Does it need to be filed? Am I finished with my actions? Because this is not a storage box. Everything in this box gets moved out real quickly after the actions are taken. This is just a temporary home for things. Everybody always has an undecided pile, and we usually put something with a big question mark on the top of that pile. I don't know. I don't know what I have to do. And usually when we sort down through that, sometimes they need to make phone calls to ask, do they need to keep it, do they need to do something with it, why do I have this in the first place? So it's okay to have an undecided pile. Like I said, these files say to answer, such as correspondence, to attend, to buy or order. I need to get a new Bluetooth, so I put a picture of Bluetooth in there to remind me that that's what I need to do. To call, to deliver, to read later. Who has time to read anything when it comes in? I get newsletters from several organizations I belong to, and they're not electronic newsletters, they're paper newsletters, so they go in here. This goes with me when I go to the doctor's office or go to the airport waiting on a friend to come in. That's when I do my reading. And to send where all the birthday cards and anniversary cards go. Because I never fails. I buy one, and then I can't find the card when it's my sister's birthday. So it goes in here, so I don't use it. It gets a home. Sort by subject or category. The information to be filed away needs to be stored. So let it go or put it away where it belongs. One of my favorite sayings is paperwork that is lying down is either sleeping or hiding. And when I say this to clients, they're like, oh my goodness, you are so wrong. Because I don't know what's in that pile. Or some people say, I do know what's in that pile. And that piece of paper is 3/4 of the way down and it's pink. And I say, you're a better man than I am because I can't do that. I just can't do that. If I don't put it where it belongs, I can't find it. And a pile is not a good place for most of us to store things. So, when paperwork is lying down, it's either sleeping or hiding. If it's standing up, such as in a system like this or in the file cabinet, it can communicate with you. It can tell you what you need to do with it. It can tell you who it is. You wouldn't have a child and not name the child. Hi, you're miscellaneous. We're going to call you miscellaneous. Excuse me? I'm not miscellaneous. I'm me. So, paperwork, documents, files, everything deserves the proper name. And if you name it in a way that you can find it later, that's what's important. Or, what if you were out of the office and you asked somebody to go to your file cabinet, you needed information out of a certain file folder, you could tell them exactly how to find that file. You should be able to do that. I had an assistant working in my office for a long time, and I'd be out on the road, and I'd tell her, go to the file cabinet, go to the third drawer, on the right side, 3/4 of the way back, the tab says such and such, open the file, the first page on the left will tell you the phone number on it. Whoa, she'd say, I can't believe you can do that. I said, because it's organized. That's why. Okay. Now, on page 2, and what I want to talk about is effective filing and storage habits. How many people do filing every day? I used to do filing while I was on the phone. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I figured I could talk and do filing at the same time. So if you can get the habit of doing your filing while you're doing certain things, that's also a good practice. And one of the things that I do at the end of the day, and I teach my clients this, is spend 15 minutes at the end of the day clearing off your desk, doing your filing, and preparing for tomorrow. I had 5 clients do a test for me, and I said, I want you to spend 1 week not organizing the night before and get organized in the morning before you start your day. And then the next week, they did it the other way around and they organized the night before. Every one of them said it took 15 minutes to organize the night before. It took 2.5 hours to get organized the next day because of the distractions related to the getting organized part. They couldn't even get into their day because they were pulled back into yesterday. So it's a proven fact that it works and it makes you more efficient. Okay, binders versus folders. I hear this all the time. Should I put this in a folder? Should I put it in a binder? How should I keep it? And my rule of thumb kind of became anything that needed frequent access should be put in a binder because it's attached in there and it doesn't fall out. So a lot of people have directories and listings and kids school things.